Welcome back to the Atlas Masterclass. Today we're in Sweden and we're making a mustard and dill crusted salmon, and it's going to be served with a potato and carrot ragmunk with a bean and shallot salad. So some really fun flavours with this dish. We're sort of playing off the idea of a gravlax. So all those delicious flavours that would go into the cure, we're actually going to be sort of putting on the salmon and cooking it through. So instead of curing it and serving it in that really tasty way where you've got all the big flavours, especially that dill shining through, we wanted to cook it. And we're cooking it at a really low temperature, so preheating your oven to 140 degrees. And we're just going to cook the salmon until it's just cooked. So the idea of this is it will flake away really nicely, and it should take around, I don't know, let's say 10 minutes or so. They're cooking at a low temperature, or lower than, you know, traditionally we might usually do with salmon, whether it's on a barbecue or a grill. We're just going to sort of let it cook, and it just really changes the texture, and it's worth the wait of doing that. So with this, to start, I get my potato and carrot. I'm just going to add a really nice pinch of salt onto it, and then I'm going to give it a good mix. And the idea of this is it will draw out some of the liquid of both the vegetables. Then I'm going to squeeze them out after about 2 minutes of sitting there, and be sure to get all the water out before we sort of form them into patty-like shapes and cook them in a fry pan. So while that's sitting there, I'm going to get my salmon ready. So with the salmon, I just place it down, skin side down. And then I've got this mustard here, and the mustard, I go quite heavy-handed with the mustard and just spread that out all over the salmon. And this is sort of making almost like a topping. So as you can see here, so we've got the salmon in there with the mustard, and that's going to go straight in that oven now. So 140 degrees, and you'll see the texture of the fish is really unique from doing it this way. So let's get that straight in the oven. So now I'm just going to add a nice big drop of oil into our pan, getting ready to fry the ragmas. And I'm going to let that preheat. So this is on about a medium heat, because I'm going to cook these. They are going to be quite thick, which really gives the right texture. And I'm just going to really make sure that salt's mixed through, and you'll be able to see some of that liquid coming out. That's exactly what we want to see. So I've got my sort of just rubbish bin style thing here. So working over another bowl or a sink, and I just want to press all the liquid out. So you want to take your time with this, squeezing as hard as you can and getting that liquid out. Oh, yep. Yep, so you'll be able to see a fair bit of liquid will definitely come out. And once I'm pretty happy with that final squeeze. Great. So with these, I'm just might try and cook about 3. And with those, I'm going to add that in to the pan. So I make it almost like into a little ball or a patty. Add it in and then press it down. And you do want to give yourself enough room in the pan so you'll be able to flip them. So just adding it in like so. And as you can see, they're about 1 centimetre or so thick. They will take a little bit of time to cook, and that's why I do it over a medium heat, to not sort of cook it too quickly. And you want to use something flat like this sort of fish scrape, or you can use a spatula, a heat-proof spatula, and that will help you be able to flip them once they are ready. So with this, I'm just going to let that cook away, and I'm going to give that a good sort of 3 or 4 minutes on this side, check on the progress of it, and then we'll check back in. You want that nice crispiness the whole way through, soft in the middle, and very, very, very tasty, ready for the fish. So I've now just increased the heat a little bit, so with the rag mug, so then they're going to start to stick together, and I'll get that really nice sear. Might grab another pan, another thing, and now we'll start to flip them. So you want to get a nice golden colour on them, and they will stick together. So as they cook, if you're finding that they're breaking apart, just using something metal, you can just sort of push them back together, like so. And once they sort of release from the pan, you know they're ready to flip. So this one here might need another minute or 2. This is why you want to give yourself plenty of room in the pan because it makes it easier to flip. So just like so. You just need to just push it back in together because we're not using any flour or anything in these. They definitely are going to, you need to focus a little bit more while you're cooking them, but it definitely makes a very, very delicious end result. So now I've flipped them all and you can see it really bubbling away. It is frying, it's going to go super crispy. I'm just going to move them around and as we're just letting them cook, once they come away from the pan, they'll be ready to go. Nice and crispy, and we'll put them on some paper towel. And in the meantime as well, I'm going to add in our beans. So the beans now will need to be cooked for about 1.5 minutes until they're really nice. They'll be super green and vibrant. We'll strain those off and then mix them with some of our chopped shallot to go as our salad. So the ragmung are almost ready and our beans are about 30 seconds away. So I'm going to pull our salmon out of the oven. So that salmon's cooked absolutely beautifully. We're going to add in some of the dill straight on top of it. There's our dill crusted salmon in the pan there. So we'll take these out now. So just using our fish slice. And I just want to let them dry on some paper towel so they stay super crispy. And our beans, pull those off. And with the beans, I can just add our shallots into them and just let those sit there until I'm ready to serve. So with this dish, to plate it up, I put these onto the plate. Like so. A beautiful fish. And then I'll finish with the bean salad as well. So really, big fun flavors with this. That mustard really is the sort of sauce of the dish. The fish will be poached so nicely cooking it that way. It's a really nice, simple way to cook it, but it makes such a difference to the sort of texture of the flesh. I've got some dill. Then I might even just put a little bit more dill. And there we are. And then if you'd like to as well, you can just add a little splash of olive oil, just bring the whole dish together. So that there, it's our awesome mustard salmon with dill, our bean and shallot salad, and then our carrot and potato ragmung. So right there, fun, tasty flavors from Sweden.